Sojourner Truth was an African-American evangelist, abolitionist, women's rights activist, and author who lived a life as a slave. Sojourner Truth was born Isabella Baumfree in 1797 to James and Elizabeth Baumfree, slave parents in Ulster County, New York. Around age 9, she was sold at a slave auction to John Neely for $100. Ultimately, by the age of 13, she was sold 2 more times, and this time she ended up in West Park, New York, home of John Dumont and his second wife, Elizabeth. At the turn of the 19th century, New York started legislating emancipation, but it would take over 2 decades for liberation to come for all slaves in the state of New York. In the meantime, Dumont promised Isabella he'd grant her freedom on July 4th, 1826, if she would do well and be faithful to him. However, that day came and he did not set her free. In what must have been a very difficult decision for Isabella to do, she left behind her other children because they were still bound to Dumont. After the New York anti-slavery law was passed, Dumont illegally sold Isabella's 5-year-old son, Peter. With the help of others, she filed a lawsuit to get him back. Months later, Isabella won her case and regained custody of her son. She was the first Black woman to sue a white man in the United States courts and prevail. Over time, Isabella's spirituality became very important for her, and living among people of faith only emboldened that for her. In 1843, with what she believed was her religious obligation to go forth and to speak the truth, she changed her name from Isabella to Sojourner Truth and embarked on a journey to preach the gospel and speak out against slavery and oppression. In 1851, at the Ohio Women's Rights Convention, Truth spoke out about equal rights for Black women. Reporters published different transcripts of the speech where she used the rhetorical question, "Ain't I a woman?" to point out the discrimination she experienced as a Black woman. For us scholars, that was the beginning of intersectionality and Black feminist thought. Truth left behind a legacy of courage and fighting for what's right and honorable, but she also left behind a legacy of words and songs, including her autobiography, The Narrative of Sojourner Truth. Thank you, and we salute you.